Good evening, everybody. The year is 1983. Ken Thompson, the inventor of the Unix operating system, wins the Turing Award. And in his Turing Award lecture, he stuns the room by describing a security attack that he carried out against his own operating system. He messed with the login program, so that no matter what computer that was running Unix he tried to log into, if he gave in his username and his password, it would always let him in. But that wasn't good enough, because he couldn't just hide this attack in the source code. He had to hide it in the compiler. So the compiler would always say, oh, I'm compiling the login program. I'll insert this backdoor so that Ken Thompson can always log in. But even that's not good enough. He has to hide it 2 levels in the compiler. The compiler notices when it's compiling itself. It hides the code that recognizes the login program in the compiler, and now it is completely vanished from the source code. Nobody will ever see, unless they happen to be reading a disassembly of the compiler, nobody will ever see that this attack has been deployed. The year is 2024. Actually, it's 2021. An entity calling itself Gian decides that it wants to diddle xzutils. But actually, it doesn't really want to diddle xzutils. We'll get to that. So it uses xz's build tool to diddle xzutils. It inserts special magic binary into the compiled, finished version of xzutils, but doing it through the build process, again, so it's not visible in the source code. But again, Gian doesn't really want to diddle xz. He wants to diddle SSH. And SSH is used for every server worldwide and depends on xz. Everyone here has deployed SSH ever? Everyone who's not raising their hand is a liar. Every server in the world practically uses this. So if Gian had been successful, every server in the world would be accessible by Gian. This attack was detected, and the real-world deployment of the diddled binary was prevented by total chance. An impatient developer called Andres Freund noticed that on his pre-release deployment of this software, that it took him half a second longer to log into his SSH server, and he happened to have the know-how to work out what was going on. So this is fine. This would certainly be worrying if it happened again. But one of the things that is also notable about this attack is essentially not only how complex the technical engineering was, but also how complex the social engineering was. So there's this entity called Gian, but it's not acting alone. It has created a lot of fake users that seem to be supporting what it wants to put in the source code. When Gian comes along and says, I want to make this patch to xz, these users are there to kind of back him up and say to the maintainer, the single maintainer, hey, why haven't you merged this patch yet? Please merge it in. I really need this. It took a long time for Gian to get this attack in, to get the actual attack in. 3 years between Gian's first interaction with xz and the actual attempt to deploy it into a release, undetected. And in that time, Gian and his sock puppets are submitting numerous real useful patches, building up the trust of the community in order to build up the trust of the community in order to be able to finally deploy the attack. So is this really scalable? You know, it's a very technically advanced attack. It took 3 years. Well, here's a third hack. Anyone remember this? Hacker at the Chaos Communications Congress last year announced that she had hacked into a neo-Nazi dating website. And the way she did it was she created a load of fake profiles using an LLM. LLMs drastically reduce the cost of sock puppeting. Many cheap sock puppets could subvert even a well-maintained project. xz happened to be poorly maintained. If you get enough LLMs claiming to be users, claiming to be developers, seeming to support real patches, it could happen to anyone. and there are still under-maintained critical projects out there. So this is fine. I have no solution to this. I'm scared. I hope you're scared as well, having listened to this.
Thank you very much,